I often get asked where the biggest issues lay for small businesses in HR, and what we tend to see when we go in and help our clients. Firstly, I'd say the biggest area that we see is exempt versus non-exempt. And that's basically the difference between hourly and salaried employees. Now, there are rules around how you choose these differentiators between the roles. Some is attributes to the job and the role, and some is monetary value when you sort of combine them together. That would be the biggest area that we see is like misclassification. And one of the reasons it leads to a problem is because if you label someone as salaried and they really should be hourly, it means they've missed out on all the overtime. And obviously when you have to go back and reclassify that, you have to look at that you've not paid overtime, and obviously you've not paid the taxes on the overtime. So this can just snowball into a bigger problem once you look at like all the money you owe back. And then not only that, once you get seen for doing that, the DOL and the state authorities will go back through and look at all the different employees you have and look to make sure that those roles should have been classified correctly. And they can go back years looking through all the different stuff depending on where you are in the country. And that can turn out to be really costly. So misclassification is definitely a big issue that we can see coming up. The second is payroll, is not paying the employees overtime, but also not paying it correctly. There are a lot of payroll mistakes that we see come up, especially if someone's been handed payroll or it's just clicking through the software. It looks really easy, and I would personally say I'm not very good at payroll. We have a great team and my partner, they're very good at payroll. And it looks straightforward, but there's a lot of complexities that go in it, especially with taxes and insurances and different state regulations. It can often be a minefield, and sometimes you sort of like not sure what to do and you sort of follow through. And that could be a big issue because there's a lot of regulations governing this. Not only exempt, non-exempt, but also different attributes on taxes, wage garnishments, and things like that. So definitely is another area that we see that could definitely be fixed. And finally, one of the biggest areas we see is performance management and job descriptions. And the reason I come back to this is because when you come to term someone, usually it's for performance or some other related stuff. And yes, employment at will, you can get rid of someone in most states for no reason. However, it's not really employment at will, because at the sense that if you do release someone, if they challenge the reason that you're being let go and they are part of a protected class or they believe it's unfair dismissal, they can challenge this. And I don't know if you're on Instagram or if you're using any social medias, but you will see on there like lawyers saying, you've been let go, call me, I'll sue your employer. I guarantee to get this, I guarantee to do that. So, and the reason they know with small to medium-sized businesses is because most likely your handbook's not up to date. You don't have strict policies and procedures on it. You've failed to follow the severance pay, or you just have no performance management. So you don't have any documentation. So even if it was performance and you haven't had a performance management, or you've not documented it, or you've not really structured the exit, it could be argued that you let go of them for another reason. And in most states, you have to prove the reason why you let them go, and you have to be able to show this. So we often joke in the industry is yes, it's employment at will. However, there's a lot of caveats to that. And that's where we see challenges happening. And these lawyers are more than happy to take up these cases, knowing probably 9 times out of 10, you don't have this document buttoned up. So it's something definitely to think about when you're looking at it. It's not just performance increases in pay. Documentation is key in this area, especially if you're looking to make changes in your workforce. They're the 3 areas that we see come up quite a bit. There are other areas, and obviously if you would like more information, please do reach out. But that is the 3 biggest areas that we see that we come across with our clients that have the most issues.